The day fear disappeared. You are paying for dinner when you realize you didn't check the total. Not deliberately. Not as a flex, you just didn't. 3 months ago, you would have done the math in your head before the check arrived. You would have already known whether you could order dessert. Tonight you handed over your card without a single calculation, and you noticed this only on the drive home. That is when you understood that something had changed, not in your bank account, but in the part of your brain that used to run quietly in the background every waking hour of your life. Calculating, bracing, managing. That part had gone quiet, and you had not even noticed when the silence started. It began 4 months ago. A Wednesday morning. A parking lot. A lawyer's voice on the phone that was calm in a specific way. The way people are calm when they are trained to deliver large information inside small sentences. Your grandfather. His estate. After taxes. After fees. $2.3 million. You sat in that car for 41 minutes. You watched a woman carry 2 coffees across the lot. You watched a man check his phone before he even reached the door. You watched the whole ordinary morning continue without you. You had $4,200 in checking, $18,400 in student loans, a 401k you tried not to think about. In 41 minutes, none of that would be the problem anymore. A different problem was already forming. You didn't have a name for it yet. You called no one. You drove home. You sat at the kitchen table, and you made the quietest decision of your life. Nobody finds out. Not yet. Maybe not ever. The first lie that felt reasonable. Month 3. You move into a new apartment. Same neighborhood. $400 more per month. Your girlfriend helps carry boxes. She looks around and says, "This is really nice." She means, "Can you afford this?" You say, "Got a bump at work. Long overdue." She nods. You note quietly that the lie required no effort, that it arrived already shaped, already reasonable, already the right size to fill the space without spilling over. That is the part that should have worried you, not that you lied, that it felt like nothing. Month 5, new car. Not expensive, just new. Replacing one with 140,000 miles and a passenger window that stuck. Your friend said, "Finally." Month 7, better vacations. Not 5-star, not private anything, just meals ordered without doing math. Hotels chosen without reading the cancellation policy 4 times before confirming. Nobody noticed a pattern because you spaced it out carefully. New apartment 1 month. New car 4 months later. Different vacation 6 months after that. You were managing the story the way you manage spreadsheets at work. Systematically. Carefully. Without leaving visible errors. And the story held. Because the lies were reasonable. Because reasonable lies are the hardest kind to see. The room. She couldn't enter. Month 6, your best friend calls. He needs $3,000. Security deposit, new apartment. He'll pay it back in 4 months. He says it with the specific embarrassment of someone who hates asking. You have $2.3 million. You tell him you'll think about it. You think about it for 2 days. Not about the money. About the speed of yes. About whether agreeing instantly would reveal something. You transfer it on day 3. Casual tone. Like it costs you something. He says thank you 11 times. He pays it back in 3 months. 2 weeks later, he calls to complain about his own loans. You listen for 20 minutes. You say, "Hang in there." And for the first time, you hear yourself from the outside. A person performing a version of themselves that no longer fully exists. Your girlfriend asks, "Where do you go?" Not a fight, just a question. Over coffee on a Sunday morning, her feet on the couch, her mug held with both hands, watching you in the way she sometimes did when she was trying to read something she couldn't quite make out. You're here, but you're somewhere else. You've been like that for months. Where do you go? You tell her, "Work stress," thinking about the future. She nods. She doesn't push, but you see something cross her face before she looks back at her mug. Not suspicion. Something quieter than that. The expression of someone who has decided to stop asking a door that keeps stopping just before it opens. You file this away. You tell yourself it is temporary. You are wrong. The mistake that didn't look like one. Year 2, month 4. Her sister is getting married. The wedding is in Italy, small ceremony, immediate family only. Her parents are covering flights for the family. She tells you the flight cost with a specific kind of casualness, the kind people use when a number is painful but they don't want to make it your problem. It's fine. I'll figure it out. I've been saving. You know she hasn't been saving. You know her account balance approximately. You know the flight plus hotel would take her 3 weeks of paychecks. You say nothing. Not because you don't care, because paying for it would require an explanation you are not ready to give. So you say, "Let me know if you need help." She says, "I'll be fine." She goes. You stay home. She sends photos from the ceremony, her sister in a dress, the light in the afternoon, her face in every photo open in a way you haven't seen in months. She comes back. Things are fine between you, except they are not fine. Something small broke that week, not dramatically, no conversation, no fight, just a small, clean fracture in something that had been under pressure for a long time. She needed something that you could have given her without a second thought. You chose the secret over her. You told yourself it was temporary. It wasn't temporary. It was a choice. And she felt the choice, even though she never knew what it was. The ceiling. Year 2, month 9. She says, "I feel like there's something you're not telling me." Quiet, direct, no accusation, just accurate, the way she always was. You say, "I've always been private about money." She says, "I know, but this is different. This feels like a wall, not a preference." You offer nothing that confirms it. That night you lie awake long after she falls asleep, and you think about your grandfather. 41 years of quiet investing, small house, simple car. Nobody knew until the lawyer read it out loud. You used to think that was discipline. Lying in the dark, next to someone who is slowly losing faith she fully knows you, you think about it differently. You wonder if he was lonely. You wonder if the same silence that built the fortune quietly kept everyone at a specific and permanent distance. You wonder if, at the end, there was a person he wished he had told. Just one. Just once. Just to feel completely known by another human being before he ran out of time. You don't have an answer, but you understand the question now in a way you couldn't a year ago. The night it ends. Year 3, quiet Tuesday. Dinner at home. Nothing about the night that signals anything. She sets down her fork. She says, "I want to marry you. I've known that for a long time, but I need to tell you something first. For 2 years, I have felt like I am standing just outside of a room in you, like I almost reach it and then the door closes. I kept thinking it was me. I kept thinking I wasn't trusted enough, wasn't close enough, wasn't somehow enough. And I need to know if that is real, or if I am wrong." You look at her, and you feel the ceiling, the one that has been lowering for 3 years, finally pressed down on the top of your head. You cannot stand up straight anymore. You tell her everything. The parking lot, the 41 minutes, the decision, the loans paid in silence, the apartment, a lie, the car, a lie, the Italy trip, the moment you chose the secret over her, that one lands differently. She's quiet for a long time. Then, "I'm not angry about the money. I understand why you kept it, but I need you to hear this. The Italy trip. I cried on the plane, not because of the money, because you let me struggle with something you could have solved and said nothing. I thought you didn't care enough. I spent 6 months believing you didn't care enough. You sit with that. You do not defend yourself. You do not explain the logic that still feels partially valid. Because she is right. You did not choose her when it mattered most. You chose a secret you built to protect a relationship over the actual relationship. What remains? The money is still there. All of it. Plus 3 years of compound growth. More now than when it arrived. The secret is gone. She knows. You are still together. Things are better now. Not easy, but better. But the Italy trip lives in a specific drawer neither of you opens very often. It is not gone. Some things don't go. They just become part of the furniture of a relationship. Present, acknowledged, not discussed unless necessary. The money solved every problem it was supposed to solve. And then it created one that compound interest cannot fix. You open your banking app sometimes out of old habit. Then you close it. Not because nothing matters. Because you finally understand what the money was never going to give you. the feeling of being fully known by the people you love. That was always the number that actually mattered. You just spent 3 years protecting the wrong one.